Yo, what is going on, boys? Welcome back to the channel, and today I want to talk about CDProjectRed. Now, if you don't know who they are the publisher and developer behind the ever popular Witcher series, and how they've really shaken up the gaming industry. I mean, The Witcher 3 topped 25 million sales, which was completely out of their expectations for a game with a budget of 80 million. Now, that may sound like a lot, but that was all by them. No publisher gave them the money. That was all the money they had earned from previous Witcher games and money they had pitched in themselves because they believed in The Witcher 3 so much. And I believe they've shook up the gaming industry. They've done it correctly. They do DLC correctly. They support the game correctly, and it's just a studio and publisher. I want lots of other new publishers and developers to take a note out of their book and do things the correct way. The CDProjectRed way is what I'm going to call it. Doing gaming correctly, and I want to give them props for that today. Now, up until the release of The Witcher 3 and the massive critical success that it got in reviewers' eyes and users' eyes, The Witcher was one of the most underrated gaming series in the world. The Witcher 1 and Witcher 2 launched to stellar user reviews, but critics alike and big media outlets didn't give them a second look. Which of course was a massive mistake, because The Witcher 1 and 2 were great games in their own right. Maybe not up to The Witcher 3 standard, but The Witcher 2 was a fantastic game, and it still sits among my favourite games to have ever played. Now, like I've said, The Witcher 1 didn't do great sales wise. This changed with The Witcher 2, especially the enhanced edition which came to Xbox 360 and PS3, whereas The Witcher 1 had only released on PC, so it released to a much smaller audience. Now, that did not stop the game being absolutely amazing in many users' eyes. I cannot comment on the first Witcher because I have not played it, but from The Witcher 2 and then playing The Witcher 3, it is one of the greatest gaming series of all time. That is unavoidable if you're an RPG lover. If you love RPG games, you simply cannot go the rest of your life without playing either The Witcher 2 or The Witcher 3, or hell, even the first Witcher game. Now, my first time playing The Witcher was back in 2012 when The Witcher 2 released on Xbox 360. At this point, I didn't have a good enough PC to even dream of playing The Witcher 2. And a year later, an enhanced edition came to Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, which was a great chance for console fans who didn't have a good enough PC to finally play The Witcher. Because The Witcher 1 released solely on the PC, like I said, and it was great. Now, if you've played The Witcher 3 and you follow all the side quests, you've probably heard of a character called Letho. He's a fellow Witcher, very big, very muscular, and a student of the School of Viper. And basically, the full plot of The Witcher 2 follows him going around assassinating kings, because the Emperor Van Emerius, however you want to say his name, has promised to rebuild his School of Viper because the Witchers are dying off and he is the last of his school. So he will do anything it takes to create more Witchers and reinvent the School of the Viper. And he's the main protagonist you're going to be following all the way through The Witcher 2, because Geralt wants to kill him. Geralt is on a mission to hunt this dude down who got him falsely accused of killing King Foltest and kill him. Well, see, that's where it changes. One of the best parts about The Witcher is it gives you the choices to make your own decisions. You can either kill Letho, spare him, and if you spare him, he appears in The Witcher 3, which is just a great cameo. And I love that CDProjectRed give you these options where many other RPGs just send you on a linear path, and this is why I've always loved CDProjectRed from the minute I started playing The Witcher 2. The choices you make affect the game in a massive way, and the world witnessed this when The Witcher 3 launched to critic success and user success. I'm going to let you watch one of the best cinematics that's ever been created in the game industry, so you can get a bit of an idea of how much a badass Letho is and what you're up against in The Witcher 2. Now, was that not cool? Was that not cool? We've got a badass over here. We've got a goddamn badass over here. Which that was more gripping than 90% of other RPG stories, which is it's insane, boys. Honest to God. And The Witcher 2 also set a new standard on graphic fidelity. When this game launched on PC, people were absolutely blown away. Considering it launched in 2011 and no game was really graphically that amazing, and this small indie studio out of Poland makes a game which looks this good graphically. Now, I guess you can call them a AAA studio now, but back in the day, they didn't have much budget. I think The Witcher 2 went on a budget of 20 million, which is not a lot for a game. That is not a lot for a game in the year of 2011. Call of Duty and Halo were launching on budgets of like 60 and 70 million. So considering The Witcher 2 had that good graphic fidelity on a budget of 20 million is just mind-boggling. And that's not where the game shone the most. The game shone the most in its storytelling and its fantastic combat. This changed how RPGs worked. The magic system, the combat system, the choices you made just made the game the best of 2011. And it won many, many Game of the Year awards. I think it was the most decorated game of all time back in 2011. And as we all know, The Witcher 3 is now the most decorated game of all time. So CDProjectRed continue to outdo themselves in the quality of their games. And the quality is not showing any sign of dropping like many other developers and many other publishers, where the quality continues to degrade. Mass Effect is a great example of this. Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 2 were among some of the greatest games of all time. Then Mass Effect 3 and Mass Effect Andromeda, shit hit the pan. Those games were awful. So throughout The Witcher 2, you go from town to town, killing monsters, doing missions, on a more linear path than The Witcher 3, which had this massive, huge open world. And then you make a choice at the end whether to kill Leffo or spare him. I spared him, and he appears in The Witcher 3, which is just an awesome cameo. And you clear your name of the Kingslayer title that's been attached to you. And every time I heard that, I just thought of Jaime Lannister. Every single time I watched Game of Thrones after I played The Witcher 2, Kingslayer comes into my head, and I think of Geralt straight away. Geralt and Jaime, the Kingslayers. Now, at the launch of The Witcher 3, it had many people excited, people who'd never played the Witcher series before, because CDProjectRed stated you wouldn't have had to have played the others, you would just be refreshed upon the start of the game. And they did that in a sense, but they left lots of people confused. I found myself going to Google many a times, and I played The Witcher 2 3 times, because I was that addicted to that game. I played the damn game 3 times, and that is just a pure single-player game. It shows you how compelling the story can be, the gameplay, and the graphic fidelity to make you want to play it 3 times. Now, everything I've just said about The Witcher 2 is amped up by 3, and then on steroids and crack in The Witcher 3. The graphics look 3 times better than they did in The Witcher 2. The storytelling is the most compelling I've ever seen in any RPG ever. And this is agreed upon by near enough every single person in the RPG community. The combat is fantastic, and I've never seen it done this well in any other RPG. When you compare this to a game like Skyrim, it makes Skyrim just look piss poor with the war, magic in one hand, sword in the other, slash slash shoot magic, slash slash shoot magic. This, it integrates swordplay, crossbow and magic so well, people were amazed. As a Witcher, you have access to multiple different spells, tons of different potions which would kill a normal person, but because you're a Witcher you can withstand these potions which make you stronger, be able to see in the dark, heal you faster.
But there is more. My lieutenant demanded we defecate on command. Ballista bolts, landing all around, and all he could say was, "A soldier with a full stomach will not step onto the battlefield." Now shit, that is an order. Can you believe it? The cretin.
One of the reasons The Witcher 3 was so successful is that it doesn't take itself seriously. In some quests and some other quests it takes itself so seriously. Like this quest I stumbled upon, just a quick side quest. This is on my second playthrough of the game, and I didn't even know this quest existed in my first playthrough. and to me that is a sign of a great RPG. You can go back and play it for a second time when you think you've explored everywhere there is to explore in the first playthrough. Put over 70 hours in the first time, and I'm going back to these areas like White Orchard and Velen and Novigrad, and there's hundreds upon hundreds of quests that I didn't even touch the first time around, and I'm a completionist, so I thought I'd done everything there was to do. And some of these side quests are where the game shines. The storytelling in the side quests is just amazing. The fact that CDProjectRed have put so much time into the side quests is remarkable. It shows they care about the product. And again, this is something near enough every single publisher and developer is lacking in the year 2017 going on 2018. They don't care. Most publishers or developers choose quantity over quality, or vice versa. In The Witcher 3 we get both in spades, which is just unheard of. Absolutely unheard of that you get such high quality quests, so well written, in the quantity that there is. Near enough every single quest has a rememberable character or a memorable action or a memorable monster, and that is something I cannot say for near enough any other game. Whether that be RPG or action game, I honestly cannot think of any other game I enjoyed the quests more than in The Witcher 3. Most RPGs say, collect me some mushrooms, collect some flowers, go and kill 4 pigs. No, there's none of that tedious bullshit here. Every quest gives you a great reward, a good amount of experience, or just the fact that you've helped someone and you feel good about it, which I can't say for any other RPG. Probably except for Oblivion. That game was great, but The Witcher 3 is just on another level. Now, one part of the game you can just completely bypass is the Monster Hunter contracts, and this is arguably where the game is at its best. You have to prepare, take a good solid hour to gather the ingredients you need to tackle a certain monster or a certain ghost. They've all got their own weaknesses, and you need to exploit these weaknesses, because The Witcher 3 is not an easy game. Unless you're playing it on the easiest difficulty, in that case I've got no idea why you're playing an RPG if you don't want to be challenged. The point of an RPG game is to be challenged, and CDProjectRed do this so well. Each monster encounter is so different. They've all got their own different names, their own unique personalities, and you may find yourself looking into this monster to see it was just a normal person once and it's been cursed and it's just haunted this certain area, which is what you're seeing on the screen now. This is one of the first monster encounters you'll find in the game, and it's one of the best. It's one of the most gripping parts of The Witcher 3, doing these Monster Hunter contracts, and some of the rewards you get for doing them are fantastic. The reward and payoff for doing quests in The Witcher 3 is done correctly. You don't feel like you're getting the same rehashed bullshit every single time you do a quest. You feel like you're getting something unique, which is again is what so many RPGs lack now. And this game came out in 2015, so people doubting CDProjectRed on Cyberpunk 2077, you're fucking morons. What on CDProjectRed's track record has given you the ability to doubt them? They have fulfilled every single time they've released a game. So the fact that people are doubting Cyberpunk really annoys me, because I've never been let down or disappointed once by CDProjectRed, whether that's by their business practices, their games, or their DLC. They're all fantastic. The Witcher 3 broke new grounds. People who'd never played a role-playing game before picked up The Witcher 3 based on the critical acclaim it was getting from even bought off places like IGN and GameSpot. Gave it a fair shake, and Angry Joe, I think this is his highest ever rating, he gave it a 10 out of 10. Correct me if I'm wrong, it might have been a 9, but I'm pretty sure he gave the game a 10 out of 10 and said it's not perfect, but it's the nearest thing we're going to see to it in the RPG genre. And I completely agree. Now, this game may be near enough 3 years old, but that does not mean the game's slowing down. At the moment of this recording, there is 30,000 people concurrently playing on Steam. And obviously I can't look at PlayStation 4 numbers and Xbox One numbers, but this game is very much well and alive on PC. The modding scene is going crazy. The mods, which have been out for this game for a long time, just keep getting better and better and better, and just keep enhancing the play experience, because CDProjectRed have said they're no longer going to update the game. Well, they'll update it, but no more DLC will be coming because they are wanting to focus on Cyberpunk, which should be releasing this year, may come next year, but give them all the time they want. CDProjectRed need the time. It's a pretty small studio, and we know they're going to deliver a fantastic product. If it's anything like the combat system in The Witcher 3 with goddamn guns, that's exciting. That is goddamn exciting for me. So to break down the basic premise of the story of The Witcher 3, someone you care about is being chased by the Wild Hunt, which is this supernatural army of elves who've mastered time travel basically, and they are after this girl and they are wanting her powers for themselves, and you need to protect her, find her because she's gone missing, and then destroy the Wild Hunt. Therefore, The Witcher 3, The Wild Hunt, and it makes for some of the best storytelling I've ever seen, and I've probably repeated this 7 or 8 times, but I truly do mean it. It's some of the most compelling storytelling I've ever heard in a game, and it does genuinely make you feel fear for your characters when you come across these villains. They are some of the most menacing looking villains I've ever seen in any RPG, and then when you uncover who they really are, you feel like, damn, I was scared of them, damn. Now when you've completed the main story, you're free to do as you will, because there's thousands, or maybe that's a bit of an exaggeration, hundreds of other side quests, Witcher contracts, and exploration you can do because the world is massive. Not to mention there's 2 DLCs, which alone add 10 hours of content each. Well, the first DLC adds around 10 hours, second one maybe 15-20 hours, depending on how fast you like ploughing through the main story. And again, when you've completed that, you've got more Witcher contracts to do, more side missions, and a massive new world to explore. Well, a new region has been unlocked, which is about the size of Velen, so it's absolutely huge. And again, the characters are what make the DLC. You come across some characters in the DLC who you see in the main game, in the main story, and you don't think they're going to play a big part in the game. And then when you uncover who they truly are, you're fucking blown away. You don't expect it. In many other games, it's a cliche. You expect what's going to happen, and 9 times out of 10, what you're expecting is going to happen usually does. In The Witcher 3, I can honestly say half the things that happen I didn't think were going to happen. And it's the same in The Witcher 2. CDProjectRed's games have a sense of you don't know what's going to happen in the game. And I love that. And hopefully Cyberpunk has a massive element of this as well. And again, I want to emphasise this just a little bit more. The game is not easy. I died quite a lot of times at the beginning of the game. This is just a clip here for you. Tried killing this dude. I'm a bit rusty, not playing a couple months. Come on, and I get absolutely fucked up at level 4. At level 4. So for those of you thinking this, it's not as hard as Dark Souls. Maybe not. Maybe not as hard as Dark Souls. But this is a very challenging game. As long as you don't play it on the easiest difficulty. Now, pretty recently actually, there were people asking the official CDProjectRed Twitter account if there would be any microtransactions in their new game, Cyberpunk 2077. And they had a big astounding no to this question. And as you can see, it's pretty brutal taking shots at EA and Activision. Worry not when thinking Cyberpunk 2077, think nothing less than The Witcher 3. Huge single player, open world, story driven RPG. No hidden catch, you get what you pay for. No bullshit, just honest gaming like with The Wild Hunt. We leave greed to others. I mean, that's obviously taking shots at EA, and I agree with them here. And so do 10,000 other people who liked the tweet. They then removed the tweet, I guess just out of fear that EA or Activision were going to come at them, because they know it's directed at them, and every goddamn consumer knows it's directed at them, and every single media outlet reported on that. But this is a good sign for Cyberpunk 2077. If they're taking shots at other developers and publishers for implementing greedy, money-grabbing techniques like microtransactions and loot boxes, then we know for a fact they ain't going to put them in Cyberpunk 2077. If they put any form of microtransaction in now, they would face a ridiculous backlash just based off the fact that they tweeted that out, taking shots at other publishers who decide to put microtransactions in. And they're going to stay with the same good business model, which is what I wanted to make the video about. CDProjectRed have done their games amazing in my eyes. They've released a fully fledged game, not some bullshit what's been ripped apart and sold as DLCs. Destiny 2 and Destiny 1. You get what you pay for. You get a massive game with over 100 hours worth of content. Then they release DLC which has more content than some games. I mean, I would argue that The Witcher 3's DLC is more fun and has more content than Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 without their stupid expansions. I mean, the campaign in those games lasted, what, 4 or 5 hours? The campaign in these DLCs is going to last 10 to 15 hours. So you're getting more content in a £15 DLC than you are in a £40 game. And that just shows the landscape that the gaming industry has took in 2017, 2016, and hopefully not 2018. Just scummy business practices where they're selling every single part of the game separately, and some of the best publishers and the best developers have gone down the drain. Now, the main point I want to make in this video is just respect CDProjectRed. Respect what they've done for the game industry, and respect that they're not using predatory business practices, and they actually respect the consumers. There's been lots of bad press going around about them recently with how they treat their employees, and regarding Cyberpunk 2077, I believe all that's just controversy, trying to stir the pot, trying to get them to slip up in somehow, or implement some microtransaction because they think that the game's not going to sell as well with all the bad publicity. And I don't believe any of the rumours surrounding it. I believe that Cyberpunk 2077, when it launches, will be a great game and will be up to The Witcher 3 standards, especially if they've got the same goddamn story writers. So please, please, just be thankful that we have got one game publisher and one game developer in CDProjectRed that actually does care about the consumer. And just respect that, because lots of other publishers don't give a shit. Well, 90% of the publishers don't. I mean, even Rockstar are bordering the territory with these shitty microtransactions. And we haven't seen one microtransaction in any of CDProjectRed's games where they could have so easily implemented them. They could have so easily put some loot box system in where Geralt gets the best gear or the best mutagens or best way to unlock his skill points, but they avoid that. They respect the gaming industry and they don't want to shit on it. So we should just be thankful for that, and we should be thankful for the amazing games they've produced thus far: The Witcher 1, The Witcher 2, and The Witcher 3 The Wild Hunt. I want you all now to go on Twitter, if you've got Twitter, and tweet at CDProjectRed and thank them for doing such an amazing job with all the games they've done thus far. It's just a nice way of showing them that we appreciate what they're doing, as well as buying the games and not pirating them. If you do pirate games, please stop. Please purchase the games. Developers don't deserve to have their games pirated and ruined, especially good developers and a good publisher like CDProjectRed. If you've pirated their game, I urge you now to go out and buy it and support the game for what it's worth. It's definitely worth the money with the amount of content you get here. Now, I'm going to have to stop myself, or I can go on and on for hours about CDProjectRed and how I appreciate their practices. If you did enjoy the video though, boys, I put a lot of time into this one. Please drop a thumbs up and let me know you enjoyed it. And if you didn't, hit the dislike button, let me know why in the comments. If you want to talk, follow me on Twitter. I love you all, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.
You know how much you love it when you get it in abundance. Give a fuck about a budget when you always be the subject of discussion. But it's nothing when you stop and just say fuck it, cause you walking out in public and you hear them talking rubbish. I just wanna